Hey, up next on the MARR Army Rock Show, a guy who's no stranger to our show. We've heard him with many bands before, but right now he's the guitarist for Baltimore band Stone Horses. They've got a great new self-titled CD out right now. Their song Believe is in our Golden Dozen. We welcome Ted Merrill back to the show. Ted, welcome back.
How you guys doing?
We are doing wonderful. It's a holiday weekend, and I'm talking to one of the members of Stone Horses, a fantastic new band. Now, our listeners will know you because you've been on the show with many bands. We've talked to you with Mach 22 and DMK, an occasional guitarist of Charm City Devils. So tell us a little bit about the formation of Stone Horses.
Yeah, it's been quite a few bands. How did we start? That's a great question. Basically, how this group started, for those that don't know, I filled in for the Charm City Devils, a couple years back. We went on a big tour. It took us all across the country, and it was amazing. And after that, I stayed in touch with John because we've always kind of been buddies since one of my older bands opened up for them way back when I was just a kid. And so we stayed in touch, and he hit me up one day. This was about maybe almost a year ago now, actually. Time flies.
Yeah.
And he was saying, he's like, look, I want to, the band that I was in at that moment, we were kind of winding it down, kind of coming to an end. And I was looking for something else to do, but I wasn't quite sure what. And he was like, I have this new project idea that I want to do, and I want it to be kind of this earthy, bluesy kind of thing, but with kind of a modern twist to it, and that's pretty much exactly what I was trying to go for at the time as well. And long story short, we ended up, I think there was one song that he had already written, and I went in the track, and it was supposed to be just go in and kind of track the song and see what happened, and we ended up, over that last, about a week or so, we ended up writing like 2 or 3 songs together, and it just clicked right off the bat. And we spent a very, very long time, about 6 months or so, in his home studio, just recording and writing song after song. And what you hear off the EP, that's only a sliver of what we've ended up doing. And I'm very excited for the future of this band because we have, there's so much stuff in the vault, and there's so much stuff that him and I are still going to be writing together, and stuff that's in my head. So that's kind of that's how the band started. And then in the middle of trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to play these live shows, we started getting, Anthony and Jason were interested again to come along and jam, and we jammed, and it all meshed together very well, and we're all great buds, and here we are.
So boy. It's interesting to hear you talk about that writing process. So, did you and John kind of co-write most of the stuff, the two of you together, most of the stuff we hear on the EP?
The EP, I know Reckless, I added a little bit to that musically, but for the most part, that was complete. And I think Life is Hard was done when I was in there. The stuff that John and I wrote together was Wyland. I think it's actually one of the first songs that we wrote together. What else is... Flirting with the Devil was an idea he had, and I added a little bit to it. Let's see. Believe, he wrote... He actually sent... I was away when he sent that to me, and he was like, what do you think of this? And it was... I think it was actually just him singing on his phone, and it just was like, whoa, this is really good. And then we were messing around in the studio with that one, and I kept adding all these little guitar things, and I couldn't quite, it sounded good, but the hook musically wasn't there. And we brought out a keyboard he had, and I just started messing around with it, and he was like, whoa, let's record that. So I ended up writing the little keyboard part on that. And I think I wrote the last one on the EP. John pretty much wrote that, but I was with him in the studio, and he would kind of be like singing a line. He's like, all right, play something like that on the guitar, and then I would play it, and he's like, okay, what if you play this against it? So the guy's a genius when it comes to songwriting. I'm just happy to be a part of learning from him.
The band stylistically, it's obviously not Charms 3 Devils Plus One exactly, but stylistically, it seems like you kind of still come from those bluesy roots, and yet I always kind of think of you, as more the shredder kind of guitar player, even though you're not. I mean, you're very versatile, but is it kind of a nice mixture of like almost metal with blues, kind of, sort of?
I'd say a little bit more in the blues direction. What this band basically started as is John's a big he's a big fan of the early like Muddy Waters type blues, and he's a big fan of like the White Stripes and the Black Keys. And I'm a huge fan of the really early blues stuff. So it kind of was, the idea was, what if you were to take that, but give it this kind of modern, amped up spin to it. And we've kind of taken that idea and just run with it wherever it's going to go. And I don't know where it's going to go, but so far so good, I guess. But I would say it's closer to rock more than metal, but it's really, what I do and what John has encouraged me to do is I like listening to a lot of the really cutting edge new stuff that's coming out, both in rock and if you want to call it alternative. And I'm just seeing what these guys are doing and kind of being like, all right, well, what if I were to take that and put like our own little spin on that idea and mix it with, the really early blues stuff. This stuff is good for the soul, I think.
So
a little more of an organic approach.
Yeah, so talking about tunes like that, I was watching today the music video to Reckless Ways. Tell us a little bit about the making of that video. Did you guys invite some fans out to a studio kind of deal, or was that recorded live?
It's actually a mix of both. What we did with that was we spent the whole day, what's that place called? The name's escaping me, but it's a studio, like a sound stage outside of Phoenix, Maryland. Sheffield, that's what it is, Sheffield.
Yeah.
And we spent the whole day there. John painted up our band, what has now become our band's logo. He painted that up in his basement. And then we stuck that behind the drum kit, and we just kind of spent the whole day doing that. And it was a project for students, kids that were doing that were going into film production. And we took that, and then we were like, well, we have the show in Baltimore. Why don't we bring them out, film the show? And the rest of the videos from the show. And the show was insane. I mean, it was completely packed, and people were really, really into seeing us, which was awesome.
I noticed in that video, did you have a new guitar in your hands? I'm used to seeing the beautiful blue one you usually play there. You had a different guitar in that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I have... for the live stuff, I was playing my PRS, but for the sound studio, and actually we recorded with this guitar too. We have the Dan Electro, which belongs to John, and I hope to hopefully soon get my own when the funds come in. But yeah, that thing's sweet, man. It sounds great, it feels great, it looks cool. That's a fun guitar to play. So it's I don't know the exact model name, but it's a Dan Electro. Paige used to play one way back in the day. It has a very kind of jangly, almost sort of a Middle Eastern kind of sound, mixed with an electric guitar. It's pretty neat.
Hey, so I've been fortunate to already catch you guys live, and you have a big CD release show coming up October 6th.
We're trying to get as many people from our fan base out there as possible, and I think it's going to be a cool, big Baltimore reunion. Playing our hometown it's always a blast for us because the people seem to really want to get behind us and support us, and especially, because you have a mix of the Charm City fans and the fans of all of John's old bands. So
and don't sell yourself short, man. Don't sell yourself short. You gathered some fans of your own over the years as well, so don't drop yourself out of that mix there.
Well, thank you.
Hey, did I see right? You got a gig all the way out in Spokane, Washington. How'd you end up going out all the way out there?
Yeah, that's going to be fun. We're playing. We're opening up for Greta Van Fleet, a band that I'm crazy about right now. I think they're one of the bands that's going to be the future of rock and roll for sure. And I think the deal with that is we're going to fly out the night before the show. I mean, we're really just going to just go for it, take the red eye, fly out, play the gig, sleep at the airport, fly back. You know, I didn't think we booked a hotel, so that'll be cool. I love doing that kind of stuff, though. I'm a road warrior. You know, it's fun for me. Go out and rock. That's fun.
So, hey, man, before I let you go, I got one more thing for you. You know, it seems like the band like really took off fast on the charts that I see going around, including ours, by the way. But did it take you guys at all by surprise that it jumped up on all like the big national charts so quick?
For me, it has. You know, I can't speak for the guys. I know that they're very grateful and they're they're probably surprised too. But they've been around the block on this area. But for me, you know, nothing like this has ever happened for me. So I'm just kind of like, I'm still processing it. But it's amazing. I mean, and even to be on your chart, because I remember, you know, always looking at those charts when I was in the other bands I was in, just being like, man, it'd be cool to get my song on there one day. And, you know, now I think we've had 2 songs on your chart. And, you know, it's just unbelievably, I can't, you know, thank everybody enough for that. And to see it, I mean, we got a chart the other day that we were like, and this is like national, like Billboard or something, we're like under the Foo Fighters for, I think it's the taking off chart for active rock. You know, I mean, I can't even wrap my head around it. It's just amazing. So, you know, it's all gravy from here for me.
Well, we're really happy.
You know, I'm still getting used to doing, you know, being in a band like this on this caliber. It's incredible. You know, I just love playing music and writing and expressing, you know, artistically.
Well, we're really happy for you, man.
Being in this position is amazing.
We're thrilled for you. And Ted Merrill, man, a good friend of the show. Had him on with many bands, but we really enjoyed his success with Stone Horses. They're out of Baltimore, Maryland. You can pick up their music on all those digital outlets right now. And their song Believe is in our Golden Dozen, as we just talked about. So, hey, Ted, man, best of luck to you out there. I'm sure we will see you again live soon. We often catch you guys. So have a great weekend, holiday weekend, and congratulations on the new release.
Thank you so much, man. Happy holidays to you guys, too. And thank you again for all of your support, not just for this band, but for all of us over the years. It means the world to me, and I know it means the world to the guys. So thank you so much.
Oh, man, pleasure's all ours, Ted, man. Thanks a lot.